If I had to choose between winter and the summertime, I would choose death. For real, like, for the past 4 summers, it's been too hot to think, let alone move out of the vicinity of a fan or an AC. There are so many nights in August when I just laid in bed unable to sleep thinking, this is it. This is the heat death of the universe and I'm so fucking ready, let's go. And when that didn't happen, I was praying for the temperature to drop even just a little bit. Slowly, the leaves start changing and you feel a gentle breeze. You pull out your quilt or blanket and start snuggling under the covers, watching the sunset, coloring your bedroom in a lovely shade of orange and pink. Then one morning, I wake up and I can't get out of bed. I've been lying in the bed for 20 minutes. I've gotten a full night's rest. Why do I want to go back to sleep forever? And then I realize it's November. Fucking seasonal depression. I don't know about you guys. I don't really get sad during this time. It's more like a numbness in my brain, like a bleh kind of feeling. Like everything is blank, like white noise or something. Usually in the fall and spring, I'm like on top of my shit. I get up, no alarm, jump out of bed, get on the bus or the train and just do what I gotta do. Swear to God, every winter for like 10 years now, I can't figure out seasonal depression. I feel so lethargic. Everything feels like pulling teeth. Everything. And I know it's coming, but I just think this year will be different. I'll blink and it'll be spring and I wouldn't even notice the change of the season. Yeah, okay. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, seasonal depression is, and I'm just going to read the definition from the Mayo Clinic website. Seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, is a type of depression that's related to changes in seasons. SAD begins and ends about the same time every year. If you're like most people with SAD, your symptoms start in the fall and continue into the winter months, sapping your energy and make you feel moody. These symptoms often resolve during the spring and summer months. Less often, SAD causes depression in the spring or early summer or resolves during the fall or winter months. Which is crazy because my friend Ren has the opposite of me, like the sunlight and heat really messes with him. I don't know, he might be a vampire. You know what else I do every year around this time too? I Google, I feel bad. Why? Because I'm like, maybe they figured it out. You know, never mind the fact that I work in mental health and I would have known if there was a solution that didn't involve a rope or kicking over a chair. Actually, let's Google ways to relieve seasonal depression. So first result is go outside. That's hilarious. Don't they know it's cold outside? Light therapy. Use a light therapy box that emanates 10,000 lux of light for 20 to 30 minutes shortly after waking up to mimic natural sunlight. Bitch, do you want me to pay for the sun? That shit is free and outside. And I already told you it's cold out there. Go to therapy. I mean, you're not wrong, but like Google, I don't know if you know this, but therapy is really expensive, like really expensive, and I literally can't get out of bed. Mindfulness and relaxation practices like yoga, meditation, or massage can help manage stress. What the fuck, that is so vague. Alright, enough of this. This is just not helpful, and I get it, it's a web search engine, but even if you go on like prevention.com, they just suggest things like exercise, pencil in a vacation, don't be sad, stupid. Okay, they didn't actually say that, but it feels like the advice that they're giving is not practical and vague as hell. So I'm just gonna tell you guys like 5 things I do when I start feeling like shit during seasonal depression time. 1. Make a nice coffee or tea to drink when you wake up. In the winter, the hardest thing for me to do is get out of bed, which I usually don't struggle with throughout the year. That's how I know it's seasonal depression time, because nothing really has to happen for me to wake up and immediately want to jump out the window. I love coffee. I love the process of making it. I have a little filter to make pour overs with, and the smell of coffee alone just makes me feel so much better. I also have like an old-fashioned kettle that I put on the stove, and when it whistles and I see the steam coming out, I just get really warm, nostalgic feelings. And if you don't like coffee, tea is a great substitute. I love English teas and ginger tea. And I wouldn't really suggest like going to Starbucks or buying your coffee or tea from outside, because that might be too many steps and too much to think about before you've even barely opened your eyes. If you buy it and it's in your kitchen, that's already immediate gratification, or at least faster and simpler than going out of your way during your commute if you go to school or work. You want to ease into the day. A lot of people see coffee as fuel dessert, and making coffee, a big plus if you have time to make breakfast too, really slows you down. I love waking up before anyone else and just having the kitchen to myself and doing this little ritual. I'm not a big breakfast person, so sometimes I like have a piece of fruit or a few slices of bacon along with the coffee, or a boiled egg, because drinking coffee on an empty stomach can spike your sugar levels, which goes into my next point. 2. Avoid having lots of sugar or processed foods. The thing about buying coffee from a place like Starbucks is that they just load the drinks up with sugar and syrup. And it tastes fucking delicious. But that's gonna make you crash, it's gonna make you have more anxiety, then you'll need more caffeine or sugar to compensate. But even aside from the lattes and stuff, it's the holidays. Everyone's eating so much more sweets and baked goods around this time. And it makes sense, right? You're tired, so naturally you gravitate towards sugar or processed foods to make you feel better. And I'm not saying you can't have some sugar or processed foods, but the more you can cut down, the better. My substitute for baked goods is I like to make soup. Usually chicken soup or a split pea soup. Even if you don't know how to cook, soup is really simple and there's not a lot of technique needed to make something delicious. Also, if I don't finish all of it, I can just put the pot in the fridge and eat some later. It's also something super nostalgic for me that makes the apartment smell really good, and then when I'm done eating it, I feel really cozy and warm. Speaking of smelling good, my third tip would be buy a nice candle or some essential oils. Something cheap, you don't have to break the bank for this. There's something about lavender and vanilla and pumpkin and cinnamon smells that really enhances my mood. There are studies that show when you inhale essential oils, it stimulates your nervous system, like your brain, spinal cord, your nerves. This means it starts a chain reaction of signals to your brain and a chemical response throughout your body. And the idea is that it stimulates to create dopamine and endorphins, those feel-good hormones that regulate better sleep and lower anxiety. The fourth thing I like to do is that's really cheap is buy vitamin D supplements and take those every day. A lot of research points to the lack of sunlight during the winter months that makes people depressed and sluggish. Now, I know that before I read you can buy those lamps that mimic sunlight, but I'd never tried one, so I don't want to recommend something that I don't even know if it works or not. But I have taken vitamin D in the past, like usually in the beginning of the fall season, and continued it out throughout the winter, and I've seen a difference in my energy levels. If you don't like pills, they have gummies. There's also a liquid version you can put in water as well and drink. Vitamin D is also super important for regulating sleep. So along with having more energy, I always feel when I go to sleep, I feel more well rested as opposed to waking up and wanting to go right back to bed. And if you're like me and you're super forgetful about taking medication or supplements, just try to find a deal where you can get like 2 packs for, on sale, and keep one in your locker or your purse or in the office. And you can just buy the generic brand too, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if you're starting to realize, but a lot of what I do during this time has to do with comforting and soothing myself. It's very small, practical things that give me the boost that I need throughout the season. The essential oils, you can rub it on your skin before bed, and that might be a ritual for you that would make it easier for you to sleep when your mind is racing. But sometimes doing daily tasks is hard for people, and I completely understand this. Also, doing something every day might take a lot of discipline and motivation you just don't have within yourself at the time. Especially if you don't have a job or aren't going to school or work, it's easy to just loaf about and do nothing and spiral deeper into depression. So my next and final tip is fall into something that you can get lost in. This could be a show or video or book or YouTube channel, preferably something that's going to take you a while to complete. The idea is you're just going to brute force the winter and try to make it out the other side with as much sanity as you can. Though actually I've been playing Dragon Quest XI recommended by my friend Gigadonk, and I've been really enjoying it, which I totally recommend her channel if you want to pass the time with some great videos. Actually, I'm going to put some of my friends' videos somewhere in the description if you need some content to get started. For anyone who's watching this and is experiencing seasonal depression right now, I hope you have a great day, and I hope these tips helped or made you have some ideas of your own. If you have any you want to share, write in the comments. I'd love to know what you do to get through this shit. This world is crazy and only seems to be getting crazier and making us even crazier. But you know what? We got this. See you in the next one.